Thanks. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. We'll do the countdown, 2 more minutes.
Hola.
Hello, Todd. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
We are well. At least I'll speak for myself.
Yeah.
We will start on time. We have 1 more minute. We have
Darius should be
there's
logged
7
in.
of us. Yeah. Good. There's some of you more people joining now. Yeah, I guess I can actually put my name up here. All right, it is 6 p.m. on January 28th on Thursday. Board, would you like us to facilitate your annual meeting for you?
Yes, please.
Very good. We'll go ahead and do that. We'll convene at 6 p.m. We'll call to order and do introductions. My name is Harmon Cadis. I'm with Focus HOA Management. I am your HOA community manager, and Naomi is on the call with us. She's your assistant manager, and I'll put in a plug that you can always call or email us at Focus, and anybody should be able to help with most of your questions if Naomi and I are not available. But we are usually very responsive and here to help you guys. I'd like to introduce the board or let them introduce themselves. Art, as a board member, would you like to introduce yourself, sir?
Art May. I'm a board member. I've been a board member for a year as of tonight.
And Ron?
Hi, my name is Ron Daha. I've been a board member for the past 7 years.
Very good. Is Kevin on with us? I don't see him. Todd, please.
Hi, I'm Todd Millsap. I've been a board member for a year as well.
And Darius is on, please. Introduce yourself. You have to unmute yourself, Darius. Well, Darius is on the board and he's with us. He's just muted. That's okay. And I'll make sure Kevin's not here too. So we got more people joining. Since we have such a small group for the meeting, and it's worked out well in our other meetings with Greenfield Lakes, we're going to let you mute and unmute yourself, and let's be respectful of other people talking and not talk over each other. If it does get out of hand or we're not able to let one person have the floor, then we'll go back to raising your hands and keep you muted. I would like to suggest everybody keep themselves muted, and when you want to talk at the appropriate time, if you're good on the mute button, great, but the space bar works really well too. Hold your space bar down, you can talk, let space bar up, and you're muted automatically. So that usually works pretty well. With that said, we see if we have quorum. We need 10% according to your bylaws, which is 79 homeowners. We did get 101 absentee ballots, so we do have quorum. Thank you, everybody, for voting and encouraging that. We did send out some reminders. We were pretty close to not getting quorum in the last couple of days, so I'm glad we were able to do that. Minutes, I'm going to put the minutes of your last annual meeting on the screen. And this is a member meeting, so a member can make a motion to approve minutes and to do other things during the meeting. That is appropriate. It's not a board meeting, but I will put the minutes up. There's your minutes. I'll give you a little bit of time to read over those, please. Everybody have a chance to review? If any homeowner or member of the HOA would like to make a motion to accept the minutes from the last annual meeting, we'll entertain that motion, please. Anybody?
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes from the last annual meeting.
Thank you. I think that was Art May that made that
Art?
motion.
I'll
Thank you.
second that.
Thank you for the second. We have any discussion on the motion? All in favor signify by unmuting for a moment or raise your hand. All aye.
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 Everybody opportunity. Any dissents, any nays? Then we'll count that as unanimous vote on the motion. Thank you very much. Status of community. At this point, I'd like to ask Rondaha, our HOA president, to give, as he comes back. Yeah, you're on, Ron. Come back to your computer. So I'd like to ask Ron to give a status of the community to the homeowners for the last year, and then we'll allow any other board member to give a status from the board point of view also. Ron, you're up.
Sorry, my dog is not leaving me alone.
That's okay.
He's
We all love
too
dogs.
hyper.
That's okay. He woke me up at 3:30 this morning.
That's an
Yes,
HOA
that's
violation.
Say that again.
That's a violation.
Yes. The status of the community is great. We made some great changes. We welcome focused management into the team. We Turf and Trees contract ended, and we are bringing in a new landscaping. We have done the budget for our budget. What is the word I'm looking for, Harmon? We did
You approved a new budget for
the
2021.
studies.
Oh, reserve study.
We did the reserve studies. Now we can go ahead and start moving in building this community. As some of you know, we had a hard time financially, so we are looking to, now that we're in a very solid place, now we can start developing this community the way it deserves. And we have added, in the last 3 years, we have added 29 paint colors, 96 choices. Naomi is taking care of that and sending us the approval. She's doing a great job. I drove the community. It looks amazing based on what it used to be. And Harmon has done an amazing job so far in the last 3 months. Very transparent, and we couldn't ask for a better situation.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Any other board member would like to give their status opinion?
This is Art. I'm looking forward to being able to put forth a couple of planned projects this year, replacing greenery in the common areas. And we got some pending issues with some repairs to walls. So something to look forward to.
Very good. Anybody else? Other board members?
I like to say one thing before Darius and Kevin join. I just want to say thank you to the board members, because when you're working as a team is a number one goal to come together. And we have such an amazing, great team. Kevin's been on the board for 3 years. Darius been on the board for 7 years. And Art and Todd are amazing to work with. And we have a little bit of everything in the sport. Everybody brings something to the table. So I want to say thank you to you guys for doing an amazing job. I'm not just a homeowner. I'm a board member also. So I want to say thank you guys.
Kevin or Darius, would you like to say something?
I'll say something. This is Kevin, and I was really pleased with the way the board worked together with the homeowners to select our newest landscape team. And I look forward to having those kinds of interactions and debates and agreements on other things going forward that need to be taken care of.
Okay. We'll go to our next section, financial review. I'm going to continue to share documents on the screen, and I'll do a brief financial review of kind of a high level. And we'll also have a financial review on our board meeting, which is following this meeting. We'll have a formal board meeting, and there we can have a little more detail on financials if anybody would like to ask. So this is as of December 31st. So this is your year-end financials, and I have the balance sheet on the screen. So in our main operational checking account, we had $51,614. We have a secondary checking account, which is for the parcel that is the gated community. They have their own operational check account and their own reserve account because of the streets and the gate expense. So they have 14,657 in that operational account. Then going down to our reserves, the gate parcel has 25,837 in that reserve account. We have a CD over at CIT in reserves of 52,421, and at Metro we have our money market account, which is 720,349, which is where the bulk of our reserves are. We have assessments or accounts receivable of 10,000 in assessments, and we're still working out these others. It's kind of strange to have a negative receivable, but we're working out those transition areas. But your receivables are, for a community this size, I'll just say your receivables are very low on how many homeowners actually owe money. So that's very good. And then the offsetting liabilities of accounts payable, prepaid assessments, et cetera. Any questions on the balance sheet? Okay, I'll continue on with the income statement. So this is the income statement for December, but more importantly, it's for the year end. Now, this is a year end of only the 2 months or 3 months we were managing you. So we have a stub year with Focus HOA Management Accounting, and then we have the year end or the financials from your previous management company. We'll be taking those financials from the previous management company and then our couple of months of financials and giving those to the CPA, and the CPA will come up with a income statement for the entire year called a compilation, and that will be made available to homeowners and put on the website, and we'll also be filing our taxes for us. So this is really what happened in December, and you can see most of the December numbers are the year-to-date numbers. We didn't start paying some of your bills until November, and then really do your financials in December. So not really any surprises here. Any questions about your income statement, such as it is? Okay, thank you. I don't need a motion to accept that. I just wanted to do our financial review for you. We have an election for members of the board of directors. We actually have one seat open, and I will go down to that page. We received 101 votes. Kevin Seaman received 84. Katie Bartholomew received 10, and we had 7 votes for quorum only. So Kevin is the new board member, or continuing in his chair. Kevin, do you accept the position?
Now that I've unmuted, yes, I accept it.
Thank you. I would really like to thank Katie Bartholomew for running. We appreciate the participation, and try again next time. It'd be great. It's good to have participation of homeowners on. So that's our actual election. And then I'd like to open it to homeowners for a forum. We will also have an opportunity in the board meeting for homeowners to ask questions or bring up items. Mostly in the board meeting, it's items for a future agenda on a board basis. This is the homeowner meeting, your annual meeting, kind of the big topics. If you have an idea you would like the board to consider for the next year as a project, this is the opportunity to bring that up for a discussion. It's not that formal. Would any homeowner like to speak?
I would.
Please do.
Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm new to the neighborhood. Me and my husband just moved in about 2.5 months ago from Minnesota.
Welcome.
Love it. Love it here. It's great. I'm wondering if, so we've been doing a lot of walking lately, right? There's not much else to do. And I'm wondering if the fruit trees in like the neighboring neighborhood has a lot of fruit trees, if that's up for discussion, or if there would be some program where we could also plant fruit trees in our green spaces.
Board, would you like to address that?
Was the question if she can plant fruit trees? Is that what the question was?
The question was more if there's plans for the homeowners association to plant fruit trees in like the green spaces or common spaces, like in the neighboring neighborhood. I'm not sure what it's called.
Common areas was probably what you'd like to say.
Okay.
Not fruit trees so much. Part of it is kind of a liability, I think, with the town and the sewage area. We're not planning on any citrus trees, but we are planning on a lot of shade trees and plants.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Sure.
Harmon,
Yes.
you have other communities that you manage. Are there any fruit trees in common areas on any other of your properties?
No. Good
What-
question.
What
In
is the
fact-
reason behind that?
Most of the HOAs that we manage, I'm thinking of, actually prohibit fruit trees even in the yards of homeowners. It's just, I guess, I don't know. I didn't write the CCNRs to prohibit the fruit trees, but I think it's one of maintenance and one of attracting roof rats and others. And the ones that do have some fruit trees, it's usually a reminder of homeowners to maintain their fruit trees, pick up their fruit after it falls, things like that. So it does become a maintenance issue, but I can't think of any HOA that we have that actually has fruit trees in the common area.
Okay, do we have any rules that say that a homeowner can't put any fruit trees in their own yard?
Not that I'm aware of. I didn't memorize your CCNRs, but I don't believe you have a prohibition on that type of a plant. Naomi, do you remember anything like that?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
I did look through the documents and I didn't see anything pertaining to citrus trees in individual yards.
Okay.
I'll keep it to my yard then.
That's
Okay.
fine. Thank you. Anybody, any other homeowner would like to say something? Okay, then what I will do is entertain a motion from any member of the HOA to adjourn the open meeting, and then we will go to our board meeting.
I motion to
Oh,
adjourn.
this, we have a hand up though. James Nolan, would you like to say something? You have a hand up.
You mentioned you have a new management for the landscaping? Who is it?
It's called Tenant Land Management, and they start on February 1st.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I will lower your hand. Okay, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn the.
I so motion.
I believe
I
that
second.
was that, okay, was that Kevin or Art? I didn't, okay, it was
Kevin.
Kevin. Thank you, Kevin. Do we have I heard a second. I don't need the name of the second. Any discussion on the motion from anyone? Okay, all in favor of the motion, please signify by aye or raise hands or waving at the camera or something.
Aye.
I
Aye.
I was in a Zoom meeting. They were doing this. This is aye. If you point at your eyes, that worked too. Any nays or negatives? Hearing none, we'll call the motion unanimous. Thank you very much. We adjourned at 6:18. Let me change my screen and I will bring up our board report and agenda. There you go. That's the board meeting agenda. Everybody can see that okay? All right, somebody has music going on. Okay, we'll convene at 6:19. We do have a quorum of the board. All the board members are present. We have minutes to approve for 3 separate meetings. So board, I'll put one each, each on the screen for your, review. And this is the November 19th board meeting minutes if you'd like to review those.
I motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion from Ron to approve the minutes as published. Do we have a second?
I second.
We have a second. Any further board discussion? Hearing none. Any homeowner discussion? All in favor, please signify by aye. A board only.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously. Let me go through for the purposes or the benefits of the homeowners. So the motion in a meeting will go like this in a board meeting. A board member makes a motion and we record that name, and then another board member makes a second. We don't necessarily need the name of the second, but it's good to know, of course. Then there's board discussion on the motion. Then we actually have homeowner discussion on the motion. And then after homeowner discussion, then we'll have a vote of the board on that motion. So that's the procedure we're going to use for motions. We have on the screen a December 29th board meeting. If you'd like to review those, please. And we'll entertain a motion, unless you want to edit it, of course.
a motion to approve.
Todd, thank you for the motion. We have a second.
I second.
I
Thank you
second.
for the second. Any further board discussion? Any homeowner discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously. This is January 12th board meeting minutes. Please review and we'll entertain a motion.
I motion to approve.
I
Thank you.
second.
Thank you, Kevin. A second. Any further discussion on the motion? Any homeowner discussion on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
I
Any opposed? Hearing none, it passes unanimously. Thank you. We'll go back. do the financial report. It's the same paper. It's the same financial report. So I'm not sure how I can embellish anymore. We have the same amount of money we had 20 minutes ago, maybe, and the same year-to-date number, which is December and a little bit of November. And again, I'll state that we have the CPA will do a compilation of your financials from both management companies and put that together for you. Now, if any homeowner or anybody had any specific questions on financials, I'd be glad to entertain that at this moment. Okay, then board will entertain a motion to accept the financials as presented.
I make a motion that we accept the financials as presented.
Thank you. I think that was
Art,
Okay,
I
I'll
second.
second.
we have a second. Thank you. Any further board discussion? Any homeowner discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing no opposed, it passes unanimously. Thank you. Management report. I will bring that up. Oh, I will point out for the financials that this is the board packet, homeowners. So the board gets a full packet of, as you see, 71 pages. And in that packet, we always put the statements from the bank. We think that's very important for transparency. They get the reconciliation of each account. They get the check register of that period. And here's all the statements. So I'm flicking through so you see them. You don't have to necessarily see them or read them. Here's a manager report. This is just a summary of the highlights that has happened in the last period of time since the last meetings. So we've been working on, we obtained quotes for the wall rebuild on Quinn. The vehicle access gate was repaired. The pedestrian gate lock. So next to that vehicle access gate, there's also a pedestrian gate with a cipher lock on it that was also repaired and is functional. We distributed a landscape request for proposal and received proposals for the board. And as you know, that was made, decision was already made. We gave notice to Turf and Trees and hired Tenant Land Management as the new landscaper. We conducted a walkthrough actually this week with Tenant, and they start on February 1st, but we already have them doing some irrigation repairs. We have a irrigation repair, irrigation leak that was reported this morning, and they're going to be out there and repairing that tomorrow. It's not sure the street, but it's on the south of Warner, where there's it's not one of the green areas. It's adjacent to the golf course, but it doesn't have a park in it. It has a big manhole cover in the middle of it and some
Reseda
flags.
and Brooks.
Park Crest.
There you go. It's on Park Crest.
Carmen,
Yes.
that was me that made that report this morning.
Thank you.
It's on the, now I'm going to forget it. The northeast corner of Calle de Norte and Park Crest in that big space.
You know, physically, I know where it
Guys are
is.
Probably 2 feet into the air and 2 feet or 2 inches in diameter, and just creates a lake out there. So
Yeah. Thank you for reporting it, and that goes for anybody. We love you reporting those things, and we get right on it. I emailed to Turf and Tree to see if they knew about it or they were putting repairs in. They did not know about it. Those 2 flags that were there's a orange flag and a blue flag, I think, sticking out there, Brandon.
correct.
Yeah, next to the big manhole cover, those were not Turf and Trees flags. So somebody flagged it. Maybe the golf course guys flagged it to show us where it is. And Tenant Land will be there tomorrow morning, their irrigation tech repairing that.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. I knew that there was a transition period going on. I just didn't know if anybody knew about it. So.
Yeah, thank you. No, we appreciate those reports. Operations. So we had our annual meeting. We already did. It was 20 minutes ago. We sent the year-end letters and the budget out to everyone. We've been working with homeowners to clear up some extraneous account items. So everybody that received their first statement from us, we've been getting a lot of calls with people wanting to understand their statements. We've been cleaning those up. We've received numerous architectural requests that the board will be considering in the executive session. And of course, we continue our inspection and compliance letters. So as you get the letters, the first letter is going to be a courtesy letter. Please don't get bent out of shape that we sent you one. If you want to discuss it, we're here to talk to you about it. If you don't correct it within the time allotted, you will get a second letter, and there's a fine on your fine policy to that letter. There seems to be a confusion. I'll take this opportunity to say something over political signs and flags. And it's actually not in your CCNRs. It's an Arizona state statute in the ARS code for homeowner associations that political signs are only allowed up to 3 days after an election, and then they must be removed. It's a political sign. Doesn't matter what side you're on or not. So please, if you get a letter asking us to remove your political signs, it's not a bias. Please don't take it that way. We had some people that were upset, but also flags. So the Arizona state statutes for homeowner associations are very clear on flags. You can fly the US flag, and it must be flown properly per federal regulations, lit at night, not upside down, those types of things. Arizona flag, of course, you can fly. Any of the military flags you can fly. Any of the Indian nations, like the Navajo Nation flag, is acceptable in Arizona. And POW, and I forgot the name of it, but it's the Don't Tread on Me flag. There's a name for that.
Gadsden flag.
Thank you. That flag. Those are the flags that are acceptable. The other flags are political signs. So please take those down. And we've had several people get mad at us when we send them violation letters. And I just wanted to point that out. So thank you for hearing my soapbox. We don't need a motion on the manager report. It was for informational only. The next item we have on basketball court, we put that on there. We had a request from a homeowner if they could have access or have the keys to the basketball backboards. Not apparently, they are adjustable. They go up and down, but they're locked. So we would like to ask the board what they would like to do to make those keys available or make adjustments available to the basketball backboards.
We don't have the keys. Do we?
Correct. I don't have the keys either. We never got
Yeah,
any keys.
RCP has got
Yeah.
it last.
Yeah, they had a whole bag of them, like 6.
Well, if we can ask again, and if we don't get keys, we can certainly have it rekeyed or cut the lock and put a new lock on. So that's a minor issue. Let's assume we have access to keys and have keys. How would you like us to allow homeowners access?
What's the pros and cons to that? And how many keys do we give out to how many neighbors?
Or do we just leave it unlocked and people can adjust it themselves?
I was just going to suggest the same thing. What is the point of even having them locked? Are they removable in any form or fashion?
I believe,
Go ahead.
I believe from when it was installed, there is a big heavy crank that it takes to move them up and down. There might be a safety issue with somebody getting hit by that crank.
That's logical.
May I make a suggestion that might allow homeowners to really move it when they want to move it, like for a period of time, like for a day, they'll have little kids play. We can make a key available at our office. We're not very far away. We're right down Warner on Power Road. And as long as some homeowner comes, they can check the key out and they can check it back in. So keys don't proliferate. That's an idea. If the board wants to do that, or we can give keys to board members and people can ask you to come and open it and close it, something like that. Or homeowners can make arrangements to ask management when we're there. We're there on a weekly basis at least to lock it and unlock it for them for an event, perhaps. We would be glad to do that.
Hey, Art, you said that there was a mechanism to raise and lower that. Is that part of the system or is that an outside thing that you have to bring in and install? Or
I believe the crank is removable, so it has no crank on site. We'd have to get that when we got the keys.
So
Who
the
has the
key's
crank?
not gonna do any good if you don't have the crank?
That's how I remember it. That's been a little over a year now, but that's how I remember it.
Do
It
we
seems,
know where the crank is?
yeah, it seems to me as though we need to do
RCP,
some
yeah.
investigation before we can make any decisions. But I'm perfectly willing to take that on as something to investigate and find out.
Okay, we'll find out where keys and or a crank may or may not exist. And if it doesn't exist, we'll see about obtaining one and let you know, Kevin.
Okay. I'd also like to find out how often people want to raise and lower it, because it'll help us understand, what they're trying to do.
Homeowners, would anybody like to chime in? Maybe somebody that's on the meeting with us is the one that asked for the opportunity to change the backboards. Don't hear anybody, Kevin.
Okay.
Okay.
My biggest concern is leaving it down and having older kids go and hang on it and damage it. We paid a good amount of money for it. Whoever takes the key and cranks it down should take some sort of a liability waiver that they're going to put it back the way it was, in my eyes, and get the key from the office. I don't want to be a jerk about it, but I just don't want to. I don't want 788 homes pay for something. I want people to take responsibility for it.
Yeah. Well, let us do a little investigation on the keys and the crank, and I'll work with Kevin, and we can discuss this at the next meeting again. Is that okay? So we'll table it till then. We'll not table it, but we'll do a little work.
Harmon,
Yes.
you might also go to the contractor, I don't remember their name, that installed that and see what the availability of a replacement crank is.
Yeah, we know who they are. We've actually contacted them regarding the Quinn wall, because it was suggested that they may be able to build a wall also. So we do have their information.
Yeah, well, they would be the ones that could source a crank
Very good.
if worse comes to worse.
Thank you. Good segue into walls. So on the agenda here, we have walls and fences around community. This is not meant to be the discussion of the Quinn wall, but this has been an ongoing long discussion of the board, and we wanted to put that on there. We have wall issues in different areas. We have the view fence issues that we are working on. So I wanted any discussion and board direction of going down those projects. We did discuss view fence, but not formally. Do we want to start getting proposals on the rusting view fences for replacement and paint? And then do we want to start a project investigating solutions for the northwest wall along the canal, and then any other walls that might need attention?
Well, are you talking about walls where the HOA is going to have to pay 50% and the homeowner's going to have to pay the other 50%? Are you talking about just pure, straight HOA walls?
Both.
Yes.
There are some walls that are party walls that are HOA common area and homeowner property, and then there are a few walls that are straight HOA only walls. But by definition of your CCNRs, most of the walls are party walls.
Okay. And I would assume that there's more that needs to be done than we would want to pay for in any one single year. That we'd probably want to stretch it out over a couple of years and work on the worst issues first.
I think the outcome of the investigation would tell us that. We don't have enough. We certainly don't know the scope of the project at this point. We have to. That would be the first thing to do. Investigate the walls, inspect them, get a scope of what we really need to do, and then triage which ones need first.
That sounds good to me. I'd rather make a decision with information than without.
Okay, I'm looking for direction. So if direction is go forth and investigate and bring back, that's what we'll do.
Yes, let's investigate and find out if we've got 1,000 feet or all of them or where we're at.
Okay, would you like us to engage the engineer that drew up the plans for the Quinn wall to do an inspection and report for us? Or how about I get a quote to do that, because I don't know what it'll cost yet.
Yeah,
sus-
it would really be nice if we could get that other wall finished first to kind of see how it went and see what we can learn from that before we start going out and doing more.
Okay,
So I think we need to open the door, but I think I'd kind of like to just maybe concentrate on things that look like they're serious hazards. We can do those right away. But
All
if
right.
something is cosmetic, I think we can wait and see what we learn from this ongoing fence repair that we have right now.
Okay, very good. Then let's
Bring,
get the Quinn wall
add to
finished and then we'll
Kevin's,
go after that.
add to Kevin's comment, I agree with him. 4 years ago with Haywood, we had the insurance company look at the walls on the west side, the canal, on the east side of the canal. And they looked at it and they said, all cosmetic, because it's not broken, even though it looks bad. So we need to fix this one first before we can see what we're getting ourselves into.
Okay,
I agree with Kevin.
very good. All right, homeowners forum. Homeowners, this is your opportunity to suggest agenda topics for future meetings, or if you have any ideas or statements or some questions you may want to ask. You're able to unmute yourself, as I mentioned previously. Press your space bar to unmute or your mute button. Would anybody like to bring anything up? Or raise your hand. Or I have a chat window open too. Okay. Hearing none, board will entertain a motion to adjourn the open
Hey there,
board
Harmon.
meeting.
I got a question. This is Alex Jarosky. I was just wondering if the board could address the change in management systems that we underwent. The last time I went to a board meeting, there was a transition happening, and the kind of what was spoken at the meeting was, we can't talk about it here and we'll talk about it in the future. And then to my knowledge, and I may have missed something, I never heard anything in terms of why the transition happened and the selection, et cetera. So could we get an update on that?
Thank you, Alex. Board, Ron, would you like to address that?
I would like to address that.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Okay. In fact, it probably was me that said, we'll answer that later. To be perfectly honest with you, we expected to get this question sooner, and this is the first time we've had it. And as you might guess, it's kind of a very delicate situation, and I truly believe that when you throw mud, you lose ground. So I'm going to leave out anything that involves throwing mud. But there are two things that did happen that motivated me to vote to leave. And they both fall in the category of, we asked RCP to do something, and instead they tried to talk us out of it. We said to Kevin Bishop, we do not want to use your app to approve the architectural request. And Kevin Bishop took time out of our meeting to explain to us why he thought we should change our minds. And we didn't hire him to change our minds. We hired him to do what we hired him to do. The second thing was, we told him we wanted to replace turf and trees. And he tried to talk us out of it. And we did not want to go in a long, drawn out relationship with someone who had a record of trying to talk us out of doing what we asked him to do. And so for that reason and others, we decided to move forward with someone who would do what we asked them to do. And that's what we have found in Harmon.
Let's not forget about the fees that were forced upon us to use the app and all the technology that we really didn't ask for.
Yes, I agree.
Alex,
Yeah.
that answer your question?
I think that what Kevin and Alex are saying is that we were feeling an awful lot like a square peg trying to fit in somebody else's round hole. And that's why we changed.
But thank you for asking.
Yes, it benefited the community.
Any other homeowner would like to bring anything up? Okay, I don't see any hands raised. All right, board will entertain a motion to adjourn the open meeting, please.
A motion to adjourn the open meeting.
Thank you, Todd. Is there a second?
I second.
Any further board discussion on the motion? Any homeowner discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much, homeowners and members of the HOA for both the annual meeting and the board meeting. We appreciate the participation, and as always, if we can help you out, please give us a call. If you see something that needs attention, please email or let us know, and we'll be right on it. Thank you very much and have a good evening. I'll let everybody log themselves off.